Hello everyone, Alistair Gold here. Honestly, I might as well do just a continuous live stream of these things because there's always something happening at Tottenham, and unfortunately it's rarely good. So I was holding off a little bit to record this one because I figured what was going to happen, and it did happen. Christian Stellini has departed Tottenham Hotspur, along with the rest of the Italian contingent. That includes Gianni Vio. I know some people have been asking about whether he's like separate and sticking around. From what I understand, he's not. The Italian influence has gone. I'm trying to think if there's anyone. Poor old Destiny Udogie is going to turn up in the summer like, where is everyone? Every Italian person that would have been there when he signed has now left the club. Oh, I'm sure everyone else will make him feel at home. But, yeah. Honestly, I'm trying to even think where to start. We've got so much to discuss, so strap yourselves in. I think we have to start with the statement itself that has arrived as Daniel Levy names his 2000th person in charge during his tenure. I'll tell you what, I'm just going to read it out first. It's very short. It's only like about 3 parts. And then we'll delve into it. We'll dissect it. We'll probably overanalyze it, but there you go. Dear all, Sunday's performance against Newcastle was wholly unacceptable. It was devastating to see. We can look at many reasons why it happened, and whilst myself, the board, the coaches and players must all take collective responsibility, ultimately the responsibility is mine. Christian will leave his current role along with his coaching staff. Christian stepped in at a difficult point in our season, and I want to thank him for the professional manner in which he and his coaching staff have conducted themselves during such a challenging time. We wish him and his staff well. Ryan Mason will take over head coach duties with immediate effect. Ryan knows the club and the players well. We shall update further on his coaching staff in due course. I met with the player committee today. The squad is determined to pull together to ensure the strongest possible finish to the season. We're all clear. We need to deliver performances which earn your amazing support. Coys, Common New Spurs, Daniel. So, there's only 3 parts, but there's a lot to pick from that. We'll go with kind of pros and cons. So, in the pro column, Daniel Levy finally accepted responsibility for something. However, technically says, ultimately the responsibility is mine. Okay, fair enough. You're admitting that you made another managerial decision that did not work out. Okay, get that. Unfortunately, the very next line is, so ultimately the responsibility is mine. Christian will leave his current role along with his coaching staff. Most people, when claiming responsibility, their next line is not who is going to be the fall guy for that responsibility. I was really kind of torn. The first time I read it, I think I tweeted about it kind of straight as soon as I read it and just said, oh, he's taking responsibility, great. And kind of when I sat down and actually looked at the way it was constructed, again, I think this comes back to what I said in the last video, is like, who judges Daniel Levy? And this is the thing, isn't it? Because he's in quite a rare position that he's not just a chairman, he's also a chairman that owns a significant portion of the football club as well. So it's not almost a case of kind of, who fires Daniel Levy, because essentially Daniel Levy is, he's just got this very, very strong hold, I guess, on his position, unless he would decide to step down as chairman. Honestly, it's back to the statement. Okay, so Christian Stellini will leave his current role. So the responsibility is mine, but other people are going to carry the can for it. And between them, you've got Eric Dyer and Christian Romero, who they were horrific. That was probably the worst game I've seen either of them play, especially Romero, because I was probably more disappointed with Romero. Because I maybe have higher expectations, perhaps. That's what it's about. Let's start with Dyer. Daier's 29 years old. He's part of that leadership group. He's part of the players committee, whatever you want to call it. I don't see him bring any of that experience to the table. I don't see him bringing leadership and organisation to that back line. Feels like he's constantly running out of position to try and mistakenly or misguidingly attempt to cover other people's positions when he doesn't need to. If he held where he was meant to be, he'd probably kind of do a better job. And he's got these predictable passes that he keeps doing as well to the players coming back, like Sonny or Kane. And he always, well, not always, but a bulk of the time it feels like he puts them in trouble. It was Sonny yesterday for the third goal, wasn't it? He played to Sonny, he was immediately closed down. I see him do it to Kane before as well. And yesterday you could see him immediately turn around and point at Sonny. And it's a bit like, yeah, Sonny maybe could have been stronger, but ultimately don't play him what is really a bit of a hospital ball. You're putting him in that situation. You're not allowing him to have any real attempt to turn or anything. And he does it a lot. He really does it a lot. He does have a plan off the pitch. You can see that. You can see the brand and all this sort of corporate speak. It's growing. But what happens on the pitch itself, on the grass, the actual kind of, bread and butter of a football club, is very difficult to see any joined up thinking in what he does. Because, he's about to appoint, we're not going to include temporary managers like Stellini and Mason, but he will soon appoint his 13th permanent manager. Sorry, the 13th manager that has been there in his tenure, because technically he didn't appoint George Graham. He inherited him. That's in 22 years as well. 22 years. It's just incredible. 13 managers, permanent manager in 22 years. He's going to have that urge, isn't he, to hire another glamour manager. I can feel it. I really can. Which scares me to my very bones. Hopefully he gets one of those warning messages we had. And just said, no, Daniel, don't do it. Emergency. Don't go for the glamour appointment. Don't. Because, Mourinho and Conte, both spearheaded by Levy. He wanted both of those. He pushed those. Despite, this is the irony of it all, is he's put this structure in place around him that is meant to kind of put more weight on the knowledge of the football people around him. It's a logical thing. A lot of business people that are really good in business do this. They surround themselves with experts in every field that they want their company to succeed in. But the difference is the best businessmen listen to them. They listen to those experts they've put in place. What is the point in bringing in various football people and then going, but I want that one, and just deciding to do what you want to do anyway, regardless of everyone saying, no, they don't fit, it doesn't work. It's a lovely idea, but it doesn't actually apply to what you're doing right now and where the club is at. But yeah, still doing it. And look, we'll have another structural change when Scott Munn comes in, this new role of Chief Football Officer. And he's going to be the closest thing that Daniel Levy has ever had to a number two. People sniggering in the back, and he said number two. And Munn is not a director of football, I should stress that. And from what I understand, Spurs are going to bring in a replacement for Fabio Paratici. Whether that ends up being a managing director of football, like he was really high up, or whether it ends up being a director of football, which is a little bit beneath that, and in between Munn and the head coach.